welcome to our mukbang. Mukbang Mondays are officially a thing now. This is our first mukbang Monday, but it's not our first mukbang. If you guys are here and you don't care about the mukbang, that's completely fine. You can skip past the mukbang. I have timestamps below this video in the info section, so just click the arrow down and skip to the story if you only care about the story and you don't care about mukbangs. You can truly do both. It's fine. You curate your own experience. Oh, good. I didn't give a about this much. I'm only here for the story.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, some people don't like it because of auditory processing. Like the sound of people chewing drives them insane, which I get. That's the same people who don't like ASMRs and stuff. So it's very divided where some people really like it because they can feel like they're at dinner with friends and like, you know, they can eat while watching it. And so they're like, oh, this is nice.
I would like it for the viewers to eat with us.
I humbly request that the viewers eat with us.
Pull up a stack.
Pull up a chair. We have the whole other side of this table, really. So actually, formation-wise, it is perfectly primed for that.
It's true.
Bonus points if you order the exact same stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You live in Indianapolis and you have a Wei Ramen that you can DoorDash? You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. You start, Alexander.
I start. Alexander Johnson. I mean, I don't know. Like, to what degree do you want me to introduce
You don't have to give like a full resume.
Oh.
What's your religious affiliation? What's your blood type?
I was like, I don't know. I was like, we didn't discuss this. I was like, how am I supposed
Like,
to
this
do
is so much pressure.
Just do it organic.
Yeah, just have an organic moment.
An organic moment. I feel like the least organic moments are when you tell someone to have organic moments.
Exactly. So this is a forced organic
organic.
moment. I think that's a good intro.
I think we know a lot about
I think
you.
that's really good. I'm obviously Daisy Foko. This is my account.
Obviously. I'm Brooklynne. I'm also friends with Daisy and Kylan. And I'm Alexander's wife.
Yes, they're married. I'm in the middle just for like
She's in the middle
compositional
just
purposes.
for this. Hold hands behind you.
Thank you. And I will also hold
Yeah.
hands with myself because Kylan's in Germany.
Yeah, there. No, we're holding hands.
Oh, I thought you wanted the receipt.
Rejection. And I'm Steve. And I play football with Kylan.
Yes, this is Kylan's favorite teammate. We already did a bunch of stuff. So everything that we have here, we got vegetarian stuff for Jessica because she's a veggie. We got meat stuff for us, but we're all gonna try a little bit of whatever we want. Pork buns, we have green salad, we have curry veggie croquette rice, we have seaweed salad, we have eggplant buns, we have goizo, we have edamame, we have veggie ramen, we have curry chicken katsu rice, we have adashi tofu. I hope I said that right. We have
Agedashi?
Yeah.
taki.
That's that.
Takoyaki?
Takoyaki? Yeah.
Takoyaki?
Takoyaki, yeah.
We have takoyaki. We have karari ramen. We have tempura sushimi. We have, shumai?
Shumai.
That's what you were talking about.
That's
Yeah,
what I
we
was
have
talking
shumai. We have carrot chicken, and we have chicken yamitsuki ramen. We have chicken ramen.
Good job.
That's everything that we have.
feel like
I gotta
we-
get out my chopsticks. I'm like not ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't
I'm like,
ready
so
either.
it's embarrassing. Oh my god, look at that.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it.
That's definitely bad luck. I'm trying to like
You like stuck yourself
saw off
right
like this splinter. Oh
did.
my god, a second chance. I'm scared. Okay, thank God. That was
This is
I
like
really
those
felt a
memes
lot of
about,
pressure
like, what
just
is
now.
equality?
What is it? What are you guys talking about?
I cut
Equality
the
over
pork
there?
bun in the
Oh,
worst possible way.
I think it looks all right.
Let's show the
Yeah,
viewers.
let's show the audience.
Who wants a tiny baby?
I'll take a
slice?
baby.
I feel like I should give you some more stuff. Top of what you've already done.
I think it's gonna get
You've
more
done
pressure.
enough.
I was trying to seamlessly escape so I could close this door.
You did good.
I think it's great. I will now pass this abomination.
Nice.
You're right. The eggplant though?
It is the eggplant one, I believe. We're trying to be polite, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's
very
good.
It's really good.
You
want tofu?
Oh yeah. I didn't realize she asked me.
Alright, it's
I'm
coming.
like, I was kind of in my own world. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The tofu looks good though. It looks crispy.
I love tofu.
Me too. I feel like I don't get why people hate it.
Mix it up, then kind of drizzle it in or dip it in. Some green onion.
Oh,
Straight fire.
I really
That
got this
sounds
sauce
good.
done.
yeah. What is the sauce? I
don't know, but it's really good.
I don't remember what it said when I was.
It's like teriyaki maybe? I don't know. It's good though.
It is good. I do think it's a teriyaki. It's got like a barbecue vibe.
It does. I was thinking that too.
I haven't tried it yet, so.
You'll agree with us.
He's like, I
Sorry
wish
for
I could
ruining
weigh
the
in.
experience.
Spoilers.
We're
He
all
gets
like
really
done
mad.
with ours by the time Alexander finally gets his.
Storms off camera. Oh my god, what's the point?
Done with the video already.
It's just so lame.
Gangbang goes
It's
wrong.
good.
If we had a camera on us that first night we all went to dinner,
That was so fun.
Would've
That
been
was fun.
Yeah.
in the truck, and
Oh yeah, that was all really fun.
That was good seaweed salad.
Wow, that is really good seaweed salad.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's actually one of the better ones I've had, actually.
Yeah, it really is. Sometimes it's just too slimy and doesn't have like any actual flavor. I'm taking more. Oh wait, these are
Steve
vegetarian.
doesn't eat meat. It's better for his performance.
Steve doesn't eat meat.
true.
It's better for
We
his
don't wanna mess
performance.
that
I'm
up.
sorry, Steve.
You know what you should do?
What?
Is you poke it so that you can fill it with the sauce instead.
Oh, that is good actually. I think that's like bad luck, but
I don't think it's bad luck.
because isn't there like a thing you're not supposed to leave, like you're not supposed to stab food in Japan because it's considered like really unlucky because it looks like
Murder.
no, it looks like the incense on an altar, like for your dead loved ones, like when you leave chopsticks
But that means
vertically
bad
and
luck?
things. Yes, because like you don't want to be associating with death.
We
It's for your
all
dead
are
loved ones.
associated with death.
I know, but I'm just
Already.
saying, I think it's a thing. Everyone in the comments, Brooklynne is the most culturally insensitive white woman that I have ever seen in my life. And the audacity for her to have a black husband after she just stabbed that goiza,
I really did.
It's
too. I was just like, you know what you
unprecedented.
gotta do?
it exemplifies everything that's wrong with our society.
I'm sorry.
That slapped though.
It did.
That was very good.
I like it.
I'm a fan.
Steve should choose.
Steve's
Brooklyn
gonna eat some beans. Just kidding. I know it's edamame.
Really
Everyone in the
can't go wrong
comments,
with that.
Jessica doesn't know that it's edamame.
Another stereotypical
Another
white girl.
stereotypical white woman.
Green beans.
Why can't I?
Oh, you can have. I thought that you guys were gonna eat meat, and you were like trying to occupy me while you had some meat.
Please occupy Steve. We can't just have Steve up to their own
Yeah,
devices.
we can't just
This is
leave
a
you out there.
disaster.
That's true.
Calm that mind, Steve.
Getting
You're so
really deep.
aggressive over there. You guys feel Steve's energy. It's radiating
Yeah, it is.
outward in a
Very- I can see just a
very
little
aggressive
anxiety.
way. Very
Yeah.
aggressive.
Oh, there's like, did you get any of the broccoli? It's like tempura fried broccoli up here,
I saw that,
but you didn't get it.
but I just wanted the potato.
I was also distracted by the potato, though I love
That's all that matters.
broccoli.
I'm getting in here.
If a
I'm
potato's
taking
present,
one
that's
as
all
well.
that matters.
Thank you for reminding me.
What an interesting dish that. Because it's got like the curry flavor, kimchi, potato, tempura, broccoli. There's just many things happening.
It's good, but I feel like the rice, if a little bit of salt would have brought out the flavor a little.
We have that though. It's right in front of you.
We do. Well, there's some on my plate, but I just didn't set it on top of the rest of it. So the noodles, I almost feel like
Haven't even tried it
they
yet.
use like instant noodles
Yeah,
rather than like have them.
Wait, really?
I mean, you can tell by the texture.
for
yeah.
sure.
Are you gonna have some of this?
Not after that review.
I know. I'm
Oh,
starting
sorry.
to wonder if I should have. Oh, oops.
You guys might feel
I'm gonna
differently.
eat
You guys
it.
might like
Yeah,
it.
just
Yeah.
I think we need a
It's
full
still good.
review board.
Well, I feel like Steve is probably going to give the most accurate of for a
That's true.
vegetarian.
Steve might be like, you guys are
That's
dumb,
true.
and this
Forget
ramen
about what we said.
slaps hard.
It's Steve's opinion that matters.
It is Steve's opinion.
That's why they call me Honest Steve.
We do call him that all the time.
Well, everyone.
We're waiting, Steve. Shove that down your gullet, please. We need an answer.
I just pour this on my face. It's got an unusually heavy seaweed flavor. Okay. It's not just the absence of meat. It's also not so good by veggie standards. So.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
See, not the
Okay.
same.
We're feeling better about it.
a little
alright?
mid. It's a little mid.
It's a little, and
Well,
it
'cause-
is a ramen place, so that is kind of concerning. But the sides, maybe you guys should
We
become a
can't count
sides
the
place.
This soup is my Roman Empire. Haha.
Oh my gosh, speaking of Steve, today we're going to be talking about the Roman Empire. There's a trend on TikTok right now because Jessica or Steve and I are the only ones who are chronically online. On TikTok, there's like this trend. This guy came out and he was like, thank you.
You're welcome.
He was like, every single day I think about the Roman Empire. Ask any man in your life how often he thinks about the Roman Empire, and the answer will surprise you. It's very regular. So as the only resident man here, how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Can I answer for him?
Yes.
Because all the time.
What?
Because you're always, because your name.
But he was Macedonian.
That's true. And I'm really proud of you for knowing that, Alexander. Alexander the Great had an obsession with Ares, like the god of war. And he was
Okay,
like,
all right. I'm an
I
Aries.
will
He is an
never.
Aries.
I'm an Aries, so
Oh,
that works,
perfect.
yeah.
He was like, I will never be able to live up to his legacy, even though he's not a real person, but to him he was. I'll never live up to his legacy. By the time he was just a fraction of my current age, he he was already a god. And so he would lie around his house sulking that he could never live up to a literal fictional character. And Ares, canonically, would lie around and sulk over the fact that he could never live up to Zeus's legacy because Zeus had already accomplished so much, and Zeus would canonically sulk about his father, Kronos. And he was like, I'll never have the power Kronos had because I'm not one of the old gods.
That'd be pretty sweet if you guys.
So it's like a chain of men sulking over each other that goes back and transitions into fiction at a certain point and just continues.
Yo, real talk though. Can you imagine if they had social media?
No. Oh my gosh. Like, talk about comparing yourself to people.
Right?
It would get so much worse where they're like,
Right?
dude, have you seen Egypt has so many more things than we have. I thought we had a lot of things.
Ares is squatting like
Ares
450,
is
bro.
literally squatting 450. Like, what am I gonna do?
You're right.
Back to our actual subject.
Good too.
So Nero, he was like a Roman emperor. And Nero had a lot of problems. He was like a huge, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, I
he
know.
is infamously like one of the rudest people. People have a lot of speculations as to why he was so insane. Some people are like, oh, it's all the inbreeding in his legacy. Other people are like, well, he was drinking literal lead. That's probably a big
factor.
factor.
Could never be
I
a-
personally think the lead is probably the vast majority of his like unhinged behavior.
Yeah,
But
I would agree.
he did more insane things than he did sane things. But one thing that he notably did is he had this wife that he loved, allegedly. He was like obsessed with his wife, and his wife died. And so after his wife died, she died really young. As a married couple, you guys are like, that's the nightmare, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's
So she died really young. He was like devastated. So like this already insane guy started to spiral, and he just couldn't get past it. We talk about it all the time, how much he missed his wife, how much he loved his wife. I know you guys are feeling sad for Nero, but like seriously, don't. Also, to paint a picture, he's like a buff, crazy guy with like hawks and like ginger hair, which is like not what most people think of. When most people think of like the Roman emperors, they assume it's like a really hot olive toned guy with like black
That's what I was
hair.
picturing.
And Nero is like literally the antithesis of all of those traits. So just mind you, that's what you should be picturing as you picture this guy sulking around his house about his dead wife.
So that's why
It's like
we're not
Monkey
supposed to
Kevin.
feel bad for him?
No, that's not why, but I'm just saying don't feel bad for him. I know people in the chat are gonna be like, aw, poor Nero, he just missed his wife, himbo goals, wah. No. Then one day, amidst his sorrow, he's going through everything and he sees this 13-year-old boy. And he looks at the 13-year-old boy. Yeah, it's getting sus
Hold on.
already.
Hold on.
Hard
I
right.
don't like where this is going.
Back up.
So he sees this 13-year-old enslaved boy, and he's like, whoa, guys, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? And everyone's like, no. In fact, like no one ever is seeing what you're seeing. You have the craziest logic
You're
of like
no.
anyone I've ever met. He's like, well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, guys. And his guards and advisors are just like, what is it, bro? just cut to the chase. Obviously, you want to that little boy. And he's like,
Oh.
yeah, I
Knows
mean,
what, yeah.
the little boy looks exactly like my dead wife.
I'm sorry.
Am I right? And everyone's like,
That's actually so crazy.
personally, like, I don't really see it, but I'm not gonna tell Nero that because he has a tendency of just like killing AIDS.
True. The king has no
So
clothes, huh?
yeah, then everybody was just sort of like, oh,
I totally see it.
yeah, like I could vaguely see that. And then he's like, well, you guys obviously know what I need to do, what I must do. And everyone's like,
I don't know.
what is it? You know, like just tell us what it is. And he's like, well, clearly, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I'll bring it over you guys. We obviously need to castrate this young man, like this 13-year-old boy. And everyone's like, oh,
I'm sorry.
no. And he's like, yeah. And when I travel across Greece for my
That's so
campaign,
sad.
I know. When he's like, when I travel across Greece for my campaign, obviously I'm gonna bring this castrated boy with me, and it's gonna make the trip. And everyone's like, oh.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay.
I was afraid it was going.
Sad. And so, yeah, he castrates this 13-year-old who allegedly.
He himself?
Yeah. Then he
Oh,
basically
gosh.
made this poor 13-year-old cosplay as his dead wife. So this 13-year-old
Oh my.
is experiencing horrors beyond one's comprehension.
That's so sad.
People
Where's
are
his
like,
parents?
brief cultural aside, 80% of the Roman Empire was actually an enslaved populace, but not all of them were like slaves in the sense that most of us would think of it as. Most people, when they think of slavery, they think of chattel slavery, like transatlantic slave trade. But the Roman Empire, their slavery system was more akin to indentured servitude, and there was like a tier system within. So although 80% of the population were enslaved, a lot of those people wouldn't be slaves their entire lives. So like you would be in a period of slavery for a while. And also, unlike chattel slavery, there was more autonomy within this enslaved system, which is not me making a case for it. All slavery is bad. I want that to be very clear.
think that.
But before someone comments
Daisy,
like,
that's
so
what we
this,
thought you were saying.
yeah,
We
so
know what
this
you meant.
slavery's okay?
course you don't.
Wow. Yeah, obviously not, guys. But
No.
they did have like different things that they would do. So there's like hierarchies. People had like somewhat normal jobs within the context of the enslavement, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah,
And people were actually like permitted to get married, and unlike chattel slavery, they would be able to pick their husbands and wives. And a lot of people also would be married out of slavery. Like, so if there was somebody who was no longer enslaved who wanted to marry them, they could leave their enslavement.
Oh,
And then,
good
like,
slavery.
most people. No!
Edit that
Not to
out.
get too controversial, but because the events of the Bible happened during the Roman Empire, the Virgin Mary was actually age appropriate, and like caste system wise, most likely would have also been enslaved at the time of the events of the Bible, which people don't like the sentence, the Virgin Mary was a slave, but there's a book coming out about it that I'm excited to read to see like what case they make for it. So either this little boy's parents were also enslaved, or they had sold him into enslavement, because that was also common to sell one or more of your children. And especially like for girls, it would be more like prostitution purposes. But boys were also prostituted, just in like a very specific way. And the way Nero was doing it wasn't like the culturally accepted way at the time, because he wasn't even following what was considered like deemed socially acceptable at the time. He was doing truly weird. So he was taking this kid to all of these meetings, dressing them in his wife's robes, like literally forcing this person to like pretend to be a completely separate gender. But it didn't go on for forever, because the boy would kill himself, obviously, to escape this
Why does it
terrible
keep getting
situation. Yeah, it actually gets worse as well.
Even worse. Wow.
Beyond
My
that.
appetite.
So back to the beginning. Remember when I said don't feel bad for Nero about his dead wife?
I haven't ever since the little boy thing. Yeah.
Well, like
Well, I haven't since you said he was a ginger with smallpox.
Thank you. It's really important, like how his wife died is the thing.
Okay.
So like it's not that she just like died in an accident or from like a disease or even from childbirth or any of the more common ways that one could die during this time. His wife died because he flew into a rage one day and he kicked her to death.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
Why is he mourning that?
him
Wow.
sulking for like a year and making a big deal about how it's a tragedy that his wife was taken from him and this is the worst thing that's ever happened to him and everything is so terrible and he's just in a deep depression is kind of like that one gorilla meme where they have the gorilla be like, love wife, ride wife, wife makes me upset, kill wife, miss wife. No wife, make life
be funny.
sad. That's like
seen this meme.
It's a really specific meme that
Okay.
perfectly, I'll put it on the screen for you guys, perfectly applies to this story though, because that's like literally
It does
exactly
sound
what
the
happened.
exact
Like
same,
that
yeah.
is exactly what happened with Nero. All of his advisors having to listen to him talk about like, guys, I know that you want me to do work right now, and I know you want me to focus, but I'm going through something.
He's
I'm
going through a
going
lot.
through a trauma. And they all just had to sit there and be like, dude, okay, nobody say it, but like obviously he just kicked his wife to
Nobody
death
say
and like
it.
now he's regretting it, but like this is not really like a trauma that happened to him so much as it is a trauma that he inflicted. And now she's dead because of it. After his like second wife killed themselves, you know, then he's even more upset because he's like, dude, how many doppelgangers of your wife can come around? Like, there's
Hopefully
just-
no more.
Luckily, there were no more. But he's actually not the worst Roman emperor that ever existed.
Lord.
Yeah.
Who
Steve,
is?
Who is? I'm gonna put it on a screen above my head. So, like, you guys have seen Game of Thrones, right? All of you?
Nope.
Okay. What? None of
I
you?
have no life.
Oh my God, Brooklynne. Game of Thrones came out freaking years
Or
ago
maybe-
before you
You know
went
what?
to medical school.
We
You know what I was
haven't
doing
seen
before
it.
then too?
Because we have.
You know what?
I like that
I
better,
would
actually.
accept that if it wasn't
You know
a
what?
banger of a show. Fine. Listen, you guys are gonna drag me to my own
What's
fucking.
Steve's excuse?
Yeah, Steve.
Titties.
It's full of titties.
There's too many titties.
Oh.
There's too many.
I'm
I'm
a
a Christian man.
Steve is a feminist and
God
approve.
loves football.
Anyway, no, so there's a character in Game of Thrones though. This isn't a spoiler because like people, it's sort of like saying like people hate Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Right.
Because he's
right.
the evil character. There's a character, Malfoy, people don't
You
like
know
him
who
from
that
Harry
is,
Potter.
Alex.
I haven't seen Harry Potter.
You
What?
know who it is?
You
haven't seen Harry
If
Potter?
he has.
Oh
He's
my
just saying that.
god. Okay. Malfoy,
Get on the internet.
Malfoy is the blonde boy who looks like this.
Oh,
He's like,
okay.
He knew.
I will say, people aren't going to be upset that he hasn't seen Harry Potter. They're going to be upset that he doesn't know who Malfoy is.
Yeah,
Because
that's
for some
that's
reason,
the worst part.
There's
There's
a whole
thing.
thing on
okay you
TikTok.
haven't seen Harry Potter.
It is okay. There is a whole thing on TikTok
It's a
where
big
people are like obsessed with Draco Malfoy, like they think he's hot, and so they edit things together
Really
to
weird.
pretend they're in the movie, and they also try and make him like more redeeming of a character than he is. Like he's not. He has like no
He's
spine
not-
throughout the
he's
entire
not a nice
series.
person.
He's mean and terrible and super racist and a Nazi. And then at the end, when he has the chance to turn it around, he just takes the coward's way out and flees. So like literally nothing is redeemable about him. But people make edits where it's like he's secretly better than you think he is. And look, I green screened myself into the movie and we're holding hands and smirking at each other. And there's even one famous audio that I wish I could put in here, but like it's definitely copyrighted. Where like all of the Malfoy videos use this one song in the background, like all of them. So like it's really easy. If you find one Malfoy video, I'll show you after this because again, I can't play them in here. And you click on the audio, you'll find like 2,000 more, and they're all like the same thing. And then it's like, hey little train, wait for me. It's like a very specific song from the Harry Potter soundtrack.
16-year-old Roman Emperor.
Yes,
was
the
Draco
16.
Malfoy.
No, actually, that was like a deep tangent. The 16-year-old. The 16-year-old from Harry Potter, or not from Harry Potter.
Oh gosh.
16-year-old
I know,
from the
it's so
Roman
bad.
Empire.
Harry Potter's your Roman Empire, Daisy.
Daisy hasn't had one lick of alcohol either.
I know, it's hard. Okay,
Neither
so
has Steve.
why I brought up Draco Malfoy is because Draco Malfoy, if you had seen Harry Potter, would have been a great parallel for this character Joffrey in Game of Thrones, who is also like a child but very hateable. He's like one of there's not like a single antagonist in Game of Thrones because the cast is so big and like the events take place over such a long period of time. But he is like the first major antagonist, you could say. So like people who haven't finished the show and they've only watched part of it, they all still know who Joffrey is and they all hate him, basically. Like people loved to hate him because he was
I
like
think I've
so
heard of this.
evil. Well, like the actor, it's tough for him because people are like, his face is so punchable.
Aww.
Screw Joffrey. And I'm like, sorry he bodied the role.
Right, like he's
Whatever.
literally just doing his
He's
job.
just good at
Wow.
his job, jeez. Joffrey, though, was heavily inspired by this Roman emperor, which is why I'm bringing him up. He was also like one of the shortest, like not height-wise, but like reign-wise, like emperors to rule in the empire. Purely because he was so crazy unpopular. And it's not like they had a democratic system, but we'll get into it. So basically what happened with him is he came to power because the sitting Roman emperor died, like prematurely, unexpected. People didn't think that he would be assuming the throne so early, but they have to follow like the lineage system. So just because someone did die, now he's got to step up to the plate. He was like a full-on sadist though, like infamously a sadist.
What does that mean?
A
He liked
sadist.
pain, right?
Yeah, he liked to inflict pain on other people, and like it's like a fetish for some people, but for other people they just like it like a lot, like disproportionately.
They're just a mean
It is.
guy.
Yeah, you're a scary guy, and there's like people who are into sadism where it's like there's consent involved, but like he was not one of those people. So like you guys know like the Colosseum,
Yes.
where they would have people like gladiators come out and fight like the lions and stuff. They would also have them fight other animals, like they would have them fight like wild dogs and like really anything else that was like really big and aggressive. Most people would go out and that's a little sadistic of them as well to like take joy in watching something like that happen. But they would go out and they would be excited to see it all unfold. And then this guy would kind of turn things on its head, where instead of unleashing lions and all these vicious beasts and snakes and stuff into the Colosseum, he would actually release it unexpectedly into the audience.
Oh my.
Yeah. And he would wait and like see how
Who's showing
everyone would
up to these
react.
things?
Everyone, literally everyone, because like they didn't know he was gonna do it. So like he
Even
would
after
do
the
it.
first time?
Yeah, the first time obviously they really didn't know, After the first time, you would think he wouldn't do it again because it was so unpopular and everyone wanted to like kill him, but like no one did.
You would
kill
think
him.
no one would want to go again.
Yeah, you would think numbers would be down, but for them it was like football. You know, they're like, I'm not gonna miss. What if he doesn't do it, guys? Then we've just missed it. Then we've just missed the whole thing.
4D movies before 4D movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't miss out on this. This is my whole weekend. Like, come on, guys.
If you can't die, it's not exciting.
Exactly. So even though like he would do this semi-regularly, people would still go, and he would do this to them. Like they would get like destroyed out there. And like again, it wasn't just like giant animals that are easy to avoid too. He would release like poisonous snakes or venomous snakes out into the Colosseum as well. So like if you thought you were safe from the lion, look down, buddy. You might not be safe still because there's starved snakes out on the prowl.
But like people died really easily back then, right? So do you think they're like, oh, like do you think the snakes will be there, man? Like I hope he brings the snakes this time.
I hope
like,
I can die via snake
Yeah,
one
that's
day.
like a cool way to
I
go.
should be so lucky.
Yeah.
But actually, people
Very
live
cool.
longer than you would think. It's a
Really?
common misconception. People, the lifespan for mankind has only increased a little bit in the grand scheme of things. Because really what makes the lifespans look shorter throughout history is infant mortality rates really warp the statistic. So like it might say like 95% of people died at a medium of age 25, when really most people were still dying in ages exceeding their 60s. But then when you factor in how many babies are like stillborn or kids, like 50% of kids or something died before the age of like 10. And so when you factor that in together and then you look for the medium age, it ends up diluting it down to something like 25. Even though really like if you made it past like your 20s, you were generally pretty good until you're at least like 65 years old.
Yeah, medical technology increasing at the same pace as weapons technology.
Yeah, exactly.
It evens out.
It evens out. No, literally
Yeah.
it does, because like it's sort of like if you look at like any third world country today, there's a reason their life expectancy is in like 25 in places that don't have access to medicine and clean food and water and stuff. It's kind of the same thing where it's like if you make it past like 10 and you don't have like a severe medical issue and like you make it through everything, then you're likely going to live into adulthood.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to this terrible little
The
boy.
snake.
He also would like hire prostitutes and have them come into his room and then like shoot him with arrows in the chest and stuff. He would just he would just enact terror onto people. But one thing that I talked about this on TikTok and everyone was like, slay, iconic. And I'm like, no, not iconic.
About this
not
kid
slay.
doing this?
Yes.
No, it's not slay.
He is like the frat boy of
I keep
history.
forgetting he's only
like
16.
he's like
This
a
is
nightmare.
terrible.
Yeah, he did this thing where, have you seen chariot races?
Yeah.
Mhm.
of
Yeah,
course,
so
of course.
he took that idea and he's like, you know what would be cooler and more fun than like horses or like a bull or something? If I took naked women and made them pull the chariot like a bunch of reindeer to make up for like the strength of a horse, because like one woman cannot pull this chariot like adequately. And then he would just whip women. Like he would just literally whip a reindeer foundation of women and ride around on a chariot through his royal palace, and everyone was like, this guy sucks. Like he
That
sucks.
is so terrible.
I know.
Really gives girl power a different meaning.
He's a monster.
Yeah, I like can't.
I know. He's a terrible person.
So bad.
He's literally a terrible person.
And he's the same guy who likes to have arrow
He
shots.
would just do tons of crazy like that, and eventually he was killed. He was assassinated
Thank
because like people
Yeah.
were like, we can't let him
can't do
keep
this.
on keeping on. He's
So
like
he's-
a literal monster.
He's
Yeah.
one of the rare exceptions where he should not treat others the way he wants to be treated. is what
Straight
you're
up.
doing.
Yeah,
Straight
that-
up. Yeah.
The golden rule doesn't apply.
And then
Yeah.
there's some people who are sympathetic, like, guys, he was just a kid. That's why he was so crazy.
I don't know.
I
I'm a
don't
16-year-old
care.
who's done that.
I also don't care. Like, I don't
No.
care. He's also a nightmare.
old enough to know.
He's a literal
What?
nightmare.
Yeah.
I will end with one last Roman emperor who is actually my favorite. He's very fun. He obviously did unpopular things like any other Roman emperor, but we're not going to get into that. We're
Okay.
going to get into my favorite story about
Fair
him.
enough.
He's the last Roman emperor, actually.
Okay.
So he was the one who was ruling as the Roman Empire fell. That's most people's beef with Honorius, is that the Roman Empire
Is
fell
that it's his fault?
under his watch. Yeah, so the problem with him is that he wasn't really focused enough on the empire itself, is really people's main criticism of him. But he felt like he really was, because he was really hyper-fixated on his chicken. And that sounds like it's not relevant to the Roman Empire, but it is, and I will explain why. Rome, they use this very specific system for whether or not they should go into war. Most people know about the oracles and stuff, where people would go and be like, are we gonna win? Are we gonna lose? What? But they also had something else like that was like way more accessible than the oracle system and also way more cost effective. And those were war chickens. So they had these chickens
I've heard of these.
that they
I've heard of
bred.
these.
Yes, they bred them specifically for this purpose. So they would do different things, and it's sort of like witchcrafty, you know, in a way. Where like they would throw out food for the chickens, and they would open their cage door, and it is kind of Groundhog Day-ish too. If the chickens went right out and ate all the food and didn't leave any behind, they were like, we are going to absolutely dominate in this battle. We're going to move forward. We're going to have very little casualties, and we're going to get all the resources that we want. And so then they would go into battle the next day and do it. And they would do this like the night before. If the chickens would come out and they would just go like a little slow, and they would eat some of the food, pick at it, and then just leave the rest alone, they'd be like, okay, we're going to go out. We're still going to win, but we're going to lose a lot of men, and we might not get everything that we want.
So
Like people might pillage too much.
chickens.
Yes, they're like fortune-telling chickens, and they were really sacred to them.
Okay.
If they would go out, not eat any of the food, and then go back in their cage, then that would mean, you know, we went into war and we were going to be forced to retreat because we're just.
Why would they
we're
ever
losing.
do that though?
They did though. That's the thing.
so weird.
And the chickens had a surprisingly high rate of accuracy, and so people just kept this system, that's the craziest part to me. And obviously, if they opened the cage door and the chickens didn't go out at all, they were like, it's a sign that we just shouldn't go to battle. Like not today, not tomorrow. We'll keep trying and see if they ever come out. Honorius had one chicken who was like his little chicken general that had, because they had a ranking system for the chickens also based on how effective they were at predicting things. They would get like promoted through the ranks.
Yeah.
So he had this one named Roma, and he was like
Makes sense.
really baby to this chicken. He treated, like, you know, people who have dogs that they treat like their kid. He did that with this chicken, in essence, where like he took Roma everywhere. He would like, Roma was retired, no longer making predictions, and people were initially cool with his crazy bond to this chicken because they were like, okay, he's predicting battles, he's doing his job. Right now, Honorius, he's focused on like the military, and he's continuing to, you know, expand our territory. We're into it. But then when his chicken retired, you know, he was kind of ready to retire as well, but he wasn't going to just, you know, abdicate the throne. So he's still in charge. He's just not really doing anything the way he used to. One day, his advisors busted into his room, woke him up, and they were like, Roma has fallen. Like Rome, the Roman Empire.
Not the
but
chicken.
they would say Roma. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like,
Okay.
Roma has fallen. And like naming your chicken after your empire is not like the best idea, honestly,
Probably
in terms
not.
of situations such as
Probably
this.
not.
And so then he was like, oh my God, are you kidding? And he like broke down. He just started like crying. He's hysteric. They're like, yeah, sir, we're really sorry. We don't know what happened. And he's like, you don't know what happened? What do you mean you don't know what happened? And they're like, we don't know what happened. Like, just suddenly they were everywhere. He's like, who? Who was everywhere? Who killed my chicken? And they were like, what? And he was like, yeah, like who would do that? Like who? Yeah, first of all, how did they bust in? Okay, how'd they get him out of his cage? Because I put him in his cage. And how did they kill him? Did they slit his throat? Did he have an honorable death? What happened? And they're like, just standing there kind of incredulous, like, you are so unserious. Like,
this.
BFFR. Like, this,
Not the chicken.
we're not talking about the chicken. And he's like, what? And they're like, we're not talking about the chicken. We're talking about the empire, Honorius. The Roman Empire has fallen. And then he was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. You know,
No
like
big
that
deal.
sucks. I kind of felt like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was kind of losing like my investment over the last few years. So like that is sad because it's like the
That's
Roman
amazing
Empire has been going
that it's
on for
actually
like
happened.
a really long time. So, oh no, my legacy is that it fell under me. That kind of sucks. But to be clear, my chicken is
Yeah, he's like-
fine.
he just, like, started
my
with
chicken's
his
fine, and they're
chicken.
like, yes, and he's like, all right, I'm going back to bed. That's all that
my
matters.
gosh, that's amazing.
And he did go back to bed. He
I
did
can
not
see
care.
why he's your favorite.
He is my favorite, the most wholesome of the bunch. to
He
be
really
real.
is.
He really is.
I would like it if Joe Biden carried around a chicken named America. That would be
Yes.
Actually,
And he
I
would roll
respect it
dice
more.
and stuff and be like,
Oh my
should we get
Oh
involved?
gosh.
There we go. That's
Do you
what
think
we need.
it's like a reverse causality thing? Because they're like, oh, the chicken said we're retreating today, and then they had in their mind
I think that's
that they're
exactly.
retreating today.
I think that's exactly what happened
Oh,
because then they
my
would
God.
retreat, retreat because they knew they were supposed to retreat, and
Like,
then they'd go, the chicken was
chicken.
right,
Yeah.
we retreated, as was said. Whereas if they thought that they're going to absolutely go in and like obliterate and get everything they wanted, they would have the utmost confidence, on top of the fact that they were already the greatest empire in the world, like with the largest military. So they'd go in with full confidence and like fully equipped because people were budgeting for them to win. And so it's like, yeah, of course you're way more likely to win under those circumstances. And then of course, whenever the chickens were wrong, they would just kill the chicken. And be like, that chicken wasn't very good at its job.
You're in
We should
battle
have
with
gotten
your
a better
buddies.
chicken.
The chicken said you're retreating that day, and you're like, no, come on, like, we're doing good, keep fighting, stop being such a chicken. You think that's where it came from?
Yeah, actually, I wonder if it is where it came from.
You might be right.
You might be right, because I've always wondered about that, because chickens are pretty ferocious.
Why?
Do you guys have any takeaways? Any thoughts? Questions, comments, concerns? Steve?
That was
Steve
more
has already
organic
spoken.
contribution.
Steve is done. It was really good.
Foods? The food?
No, the bird.
Oh!
It was like so crisp.
It was a pretty crisp bird. You had a good projection.
You really opened up your diaphragm.
You do.
Really, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah,
I can tell.
that was good.
Yeah.
That was good, Steve.
Yeah. I don't even know. Can I see it?
Yeah, can you guys see my hair? They're like, we don't give a shit.
I think it looks so cute.
One person in the comment, you do give a shit.
Yeah, someone was like, I really
It's
like
very
it,
important
Daisy.
to
It
me.
looks so cute.
I dyed my hair the way you dyed your hair because I love you. I'm like,
Well,
what?
How do you know they sound like that, Daisy?
And then somebody replies in the video,
It's fine to sound like that, Steve. There's nothing wrong with sounding like that. Don't make fun of the way I sound. She was being respectful. She was including my vocal archetype.
There's literally nothing wrong with sounding
there's
like that.
literally nothing wrong with that. There's literally nothing wrong with that.
I agree with
Is
that.
that how Nero sounded as well?
That's-
Honestly, maybe. He really might have sounded like that. It's entirely possible.
He was like, we go to the stadium and we would release a
mean.
bunch of snakes and big rats and stuff.
Well, I would like to see everything released out there, and then everyone screams, and I get to laugh at it.
Oh my gosh,
I
this
do
is so
wonder
weird.
though how like that voice, like that like lispy voice, transitions to ancient Roman speech. Because like Latin, I can't speak Latin very well, but like I've heard like the audios of like how it would have sounded in that context, and it sounds so intense. And like modern Italian doesn't sound intense at all. That's the closest thing I know to it, because I don't know how to speak Latin. But like Italian, I don't even know. Siamo americani, mi dispiace che il mio italiano non sia molto buono. Like that, it's my Italian is not very good because I'm American.
Yeah, too rude. Yeah.
And to root.
So close to this point.
Imagine he just turned around. Did you literally just stab me? That's literally insane. I did what you just stabbed me. You're my closest friend. Yeah, your wife and I told all of the Congress about it, but like, what's the big deal? I'm emperor.
It's personal.
That's literally an honor of her.
Oh my
She was
gosh, I
feeding me
can't
away. She was awesome. Yeah, so you were trying to make a point in Congress. I said, you Brutus. I your wife yesterday, and then you stabbed me in the back. That's crazy. I feel like that's a disproportionate response.
That was amazing.
Thank you. I'm good at the voice. I do it to Kylan all the time, and it's slowly driving him insane.
Oh.
I'd love to see his response.
Yeah.
Well, at first he was angry about it. Now he just does it backwards, like, that's really disappointing. I really don't like that voice. And
Now
so
he
I've
does the
infected him.
Scooby-Doo.
He
Yeah.
does really good impressions.
It really is impressive.
So those were good closing thoughts, guys.
I thought so.
What would you want a really good closing thoughts?
My sympathy level for Nero went from about here.
Just dropped and
To about
dropped
right
and dropped.
Yeah.
That's appropriate. Imagine if you were like, honestly, at the beginning of your story, I didn't really respect that guy, but by the end, he won me over. We'd all be like, what? Just start throwing food at you. Boo! You need to leave.
Now I have to look up the Harry Potter dude.
Dude, you do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You know
Right when
who
I
he
turn
is,
this
you know
camera
who
off, I'm
he
going to
is.
show you the fan cams of Draco Malfoy.
Okay.
And you're going to be like,
I can't wait.
I am
this?
completely
Because
out of the loop.
for reference to the subscribers, Alexander is new to TikTok. Like, he's just getting into the app anyway. So, like, he's at the surface level. Like, he'll watch my videos and be like, haha, this was funny. I'll see him under Kylan's. But he hasn't gotten into, like, your weird shit
Not ready.
today, right now.
He's really not
He's
ready.
nothing could make you ready.
That's
And
true.
once you watch one of those
That's
videos,
true.
also, your whole For You page becomes them. Like, it
Yeah.
spreads
What?
like a virus.
Just one,
I don't know if I
that's
wanna
all it
know.
takes.
No, you do. And then for like the next like hour, you have to just dislike all the videos and then like unrelated stuff, so it'll stop
Just so
shoving
that
it
it
down
clears
your throat.
out your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what would a German person with that sound like?
Ich
'Cause-
liebe die. Oh my
Why was that so
gosh.
pretty accurate?
It's
Like,
wunderbar. I feel like they actually kind of already are primed to sound like that, low key.
Yeah.
Alexandra, that's incredible. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of feel like that's how Adolf would sound when he wasn't in speech mode. Because like in his speeches, he's like,
Possibly, yeah.
like that's how every Hitler speech has
Very
ever sounded to
violent.
me. But I bet when he got off the podium, he's like, so, what do you guys think? Was it good? You think that they got really riled up out there? I feel like they got riled up.
That's like way too accurate.
They were
I feel
all
like
like
that's right. I
jumping.
think
They were
that's
like,
exactly
yeah, she's going to fix our economy, but I'm not. I'm going to decimate the region. They have no idea. It's amazing.
Something very beautiful in this mukbang episode was the moment Brooklynne and Alexander both carried with their chopsticks in unison the plate.
That was really good.
That
Not
was
gonna zoom in
beautiful.
on it.
I just saw it falling in the middle of your important talk.
And
So
you're
I
like,
thought,
if this
as a wife,
Goiza falls
I will support.
during this incredible narrative, what are we gonna
What?
do?
How do we possibly recover from
I
that?
actually
the
thought
mukbang will be destroyed.
Yeah.
I thought she was trying to take it from me.
I know
I'm
you
like,
did because I was trying to like
no, this is my
me, and I was like, I don't want this. I'm trying to help you so you can have it.
No, I want. And he's like, no.
Immediate spending- Yeah. Almost 6 years of
like, I
marriage.
know.
yeah, this
That's
was
what
like
it
being a
comes
husband
to.
out here. See, and I'm outnumbered and everything, so no one would believe me.
Oh,
She was probably actually
it's
trying to-
hard to be a man.
Yeah, poor Alexander.
Alexander's
I was
like,
trying
it
to
is
help
hard
you.
to be a man.
The viewers might, maybe, I don't know.
They're gonna be like, and the white women team up. Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. I need
Naturally.
all of the
Sorry,
widowy
I'm
guys out there.
All
on
of
my
the
side.
little white guys over there.
I need all of them on my side.
They're bullying Alexander about Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah, we
As if
all-
Harry Potter even matters. And we're all like, actually, the three of us are making the Draco Malfoy fan cams. That's who's sourcing them. We're the ones.
Don't put me
making
into
them.
this. I
No,
don't
I
any of this.
Brooklynne, I've seen you in the fan cams. Steve, you've seen Brooklynne in the fan cams.
I've seen
It's
Brooklynne
always
in
her
the fan
face. It's always her. And you know what's crazy? She edits herself into the Death Eater scenes with Voldemort when they're having like their Nazi meeting, and she's like, "There I am next to
There's me.
Bellatrix."
Yeah,
there
you're
I am
right,
next
you're
to
right.
her. She perms her hair and thinks that we're just not gonna notice, but we're noticing.
it's
Dang
really
it.
Emma whatever Emma was.
Wait for me.
I mean, I
They're
guess
Nazi
I
meetings.
I can't hide anymore.
You're like, I'm finally feeling
Yeah.
comfortable enough to
Yeah,
admit
you know, fine.
it was her.
It was me. It was me.
I knew it.
It was me.
Alexander's
Yeah.
like, that's why I don't know about Malfoy. She's
Yeah,
been
she's
keeping
been keeping it from me.
intentionally.
Yeah.
She's been using
That's why she
high
comes
level
back with
editing.
like curly hair. Like,
It's all
when I,
coming
when I
together.
think she's going to the hospital,
yeah.
Really,
it's really
she's
not
going to her
actually that.
studio,
Yeah.
and she's using CapCut and she's editing it all together. Sometimes Adobe Premiere if she's
Yeah.
really feeling fancy.
If I'm really, yeah.
She's a WeWork space, just goes there to
Yeah.
fan cams all day.
Yeah.
She makes a ton of money.
I actually, yeah.
She's like, I'm rich. You have no idea. The
way
fan
more
base is
successful
huge.
than both of you.
Yeah, and you're like, honestly, I
And
look
like-
at your audiences and I
Yeah, and
scoff.
I'm like,
suddenly okay with this.
And you're like, wait, turn off the camera? You really do? It gets really serious. You
suddenly,
actually.
yeah, like, wait, hold on.
What are
a
you
second.
in the creator fund? What's your RPM? You make $5 a 1,000 views? Holy sh**. Oh my god, you are rich. And you get what? 13 million views a video?
I wish.
The Harry Potter universe is that tight? Yes, it is.
I feel like it actually is, though.
I like that this video's been 80% Harry Potter, 20% Roman Empire. And I'm going to
did-
title
did
it
take
The
a
Roman
shift
Empire.
Towards
There's like a good
Inside.
5% Nazis.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
lot of Nazi talk in there.
But it
really
kind of
is.
seeped its way into both topics.
It's because Harry Potter is full of Nazis, and it's a very obvious allegory of that.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know,
You
and you know
will,
why?
though. You will,
You know
though.
why he wouldn't know? He's so anti-Nazi that
That's
he
right.
won't even engage with
He
the
can't even-
HB universe.
No, he doesn't
He
even
can't
wanna,
stomach it.
Yeah,
He can't. He can't. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. It's a really that's his wife. He's a good guy.
I would know.
You're like, I married him because he's very
He's a good
anti-Nazi,
guy,
and that's why.
Yeah.
That's what sold me on
Yeah.
it.
Chances he kills you and finds a 13-year-old boy that
Low.
looks just
That
like
looks
you.
just like me. I mean, the chances are so low though.
Stay away from those lead
Yeah, they're
paint
really
chips
low.
out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say more like Alexander the Great, but I don't know if that's a good thing either. So.
Well, you know what? His worst crime is just that he
I can't
was kind of a
take
puss.
anymore.
No, he's not bad. His mom was awesome. I did a mukbang, the one before this, about his mom. Really, he was so great because his mom was an incredible strategist.
I think I actually did hear about
Yeah,
Mommy
she was
the
really
Great.
cool. She was like a female icon. Everybody was like afraid of her. She was like so sick. She was like really, really awesome. And then he just kind of was like, okay, mommy, you have good ideas. I'm gonna keep doing it. And then like, only thing people like have ever clowned him for is homophobic people who are like, yeah, but wasn't he clearly in love with one of his aides? And then historians are like, I think they were best friends. And everyone's
Right.
like, okay. So really, he's good. He's not bad.
I love my mom, so.
Yeah, you're like, I too love my mom. Yeah. All right.
Alexander the Great was a gay mama's boy.
Yeah. Alexander was like,
Steve!
yeah,
Steve, you're embarrassing me in front of my subscribers! And everyone in chat, gay mama's boy, gay mama's boy. My
all it's
YouTube
gonna be.
gets
That's
banned.
all it's gonna be.
'Cause they're like, what was she
You're gonna get
saying in
shut
that
down.
video to make people spam gay mama's boy?
Yeah.
I'll know you watched to the end of the video if you comment gay mama's boy.
Yes.
That's how I'll know. Anybody who doesn't comment, it's not a real fan.
I can say that because I'm gay and I love my mom.
Yeah, that's true actually, Steve. That's
I'm a member of that community.
I can speak on it.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
true.
Okay.
All right, I think that's a great area to close. Gay mamas, boys, have sweet dreams out there. You're the best of us, apparently.
Whittly.
You're whittly to
Literally
great.
the best.
So,